It appears to be more of a family day, far more of a family day than Derby Day.
Even though we did see a little bit of risque business in the
if you missed it, it's probably a good thing. But still, for the most part, folks are, well, very well behaved. They have the kids out here, blankets, picnics, food and all, and it's warming up as well.
Well, you know, we've been out here in sleet, we've been out here in light snow, we've been out in thunderstorms and freezing cold temperatures. I guess we cannot complain about this because we've got a breeze.
We do prefer this rather than the rain and the cold. We are continuing with our day-long coverage as the crowd continues to stream into Churchill Downs.
See some of the hats there. We've seen some great fashions. It seems the lighter hats, Jane, I don't know, you can correct me on this because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Lighter hats as in color?
The brighter hats seem to be in fact. I don't see many of the darker hats that I have in the past.
It appears that this spring, Doug, yes, pastels are in. You know, far so, much more.
As you prove.
But there are always these hats that are classy. They never go out of style.
Well, and look at the program. I'll show the program here real quick again because it is pastel, if anything ever was. And I always say it matches Jean's outfit nicely.
Peter Max creation there.
Peter Max did the drawing on the front
of the Oaks Day Derby, Oaks program. We're getting ready for the fourth race of the day. As you stay with us, we will bring you exclusive coverage of Oaks Day here, the first Oaks of the new century, the new millennium.
Could be a record crowd breaker. 105,000 people is what the president of Churchill Downs is predicting. The last record was just last year at 101,000. This is racing's second biggest day anywhere in America, and you're watching it here live in just a moment.
You're watching WHAS 11, your home for the 126th running of the Kentucky Derby and over 47 hours of complete Derby coverage. Derby Festival coverage you can count on. From your home for the 126th running of the Kentucky Derby, WHAS 11, celebrating our 50th anniversary.
Back up here on the rooftop, let's take a look at the first three races of the day that we saw here on WHAS 11 in our 11 to basically 1 o'clock hours. The first race, a claiming event for 6.5 furlongs, older horses sprinting on the main track. Nice and Salty comes off the pace here. Here's Paul Rogers as he takes him down the stretch. Trouble with audio there. Nice and Salty comes off the pace for Tony D'Amico. Murray Johnson trained. This is a horse, a 6-year-old gelding by Salt Lake out of a NASCAR mare. Tony D'Amico out in the center of the track where it looks up to this point in the first three races you want to be coming off from the pace. Payoff for this race for Nice and Salty, Ingenious, and Brassy and Sunny. Nice payoff for Nice and Salty, $31, $12.60 and $6.40. Ingenious paid $10.20 and $7.80. Brassy and Sunny paid $4. Second race had some horses that may have been on the Derby trail earlier this year. Had a full brother to Grindstone trained by D. Wayne Lucas with Jorge Chavez aboard. Not your victor today. Here we go. We're taking him down the stretch here for the second race, which was 1 1/16 for 3-year-olds this year. The replay again from race number 2, won by Frazie's Folly, who also came off the pace for Nilo Callahan and Shane Sellers. Shane Sellers will be back in the winner's circle just by the next race. Frazie's Folly, a 3-year-old Gray Roan colt by Bo Genius out of a Broadway Forley mare. One for fun, won by at least 6 lengths in that race. Here are the payoffs for race number 2. Frazie's Folly paid $6.20, $3.60, and $3. Colonel Harlan, campaigned by Elliott Walden, who does not have a horse in this year's Derby. Lindsay's Legacy, trained by Bob Baffert, paid $4.80. He does have a horse, Captain Stephen, this year's Run for the Roses. The third race, this was a 6.5 furlong sprint, another claiming event race for older horses. Your winner, Fallen Halo, with Shane Sellers aboard, prohibitive favorite as they hit the top of the stretch. Fallen Halo on the outside, Receiver on the inside. Looked like Receiver might have the best of him. A Receiver, though, on the inside today, and that may not be the place to be. Receiver does not get up, but this was a photo finish, folks. Shane Sellers having to get awfully busy. John Court on the inside also aggressive with his with his horse, but Arthur Hancock and Wayne Shoemate, the owners, and the Stone Farm colors that Menifee campaigned last year, are the eventual victor for Fallen Halo, who pays $360, $280, and $280. Receiver paid $680, $680, and Slew Roots paid $780. With that, we'll send it back to Gene and Doug trackside.
All right, Jeffrey, thank you very much. So we want to remind our viewers that we are streaming today's coverage all day long on our website at WHAS11.com. So call all your friends and family all around the world if you want to and let them know. Just like Thunder over Louisville, we have people in New Zealand.
Louisiana are watching. Hi, guys.
Hey, guys. Hi, Joe.
Hello.
That's her brother. He'll be up here for the Derby.
That's right.
And he's single. Good-looking guy, by the way.
Hey, watch it. We got enough trouble. All right, it is a beautiful day here in Kentuckiana. A gorgeous day. You have the very best seat right there in your living room because we're going to be bringing you all of the races here on Oaks Day and the running of the Kentucky Oaks race at about 5:43.
That's right, about 5:43.
That's going to be. We're going to have that for you. You can only see it here on WHAS 11. So stay with us as we
Stay for
continue.
the Phillies right here. Stay with us. More coming right up. The other race straight ahead.
You're watching 8 hours of continuous live Oaks 126 coverage. Now pick your favorite horse from home. Go to WHAS11.com and take part in the .com Derby. Then see the results here on WHAS 11. That's Oaks Day coverage you can count on.
Good morning. And down the stretch, and Barry on the inside, nose in front. Here comes Rachel. Rachel bumping Barry from the inside. Barry and Rachel, a dramatic finish. Here comes Chuck Olmstead from out of the clouds in an upset. Chuck Olmstead wins.
And there, the celebrities are arriving at the track. There is Lonnie Anderson. There she is, probably up at the club, the Turf Club.
Just arriving here to the track, and we've just heard the call to the post for the Fast Forward. That's race number 4 that's coming up. We want to tell you something that is part of our exclusive. There's Chris Redman, the former University of Louisville quarterback. Chris Redman here at the track. Something as part of our exclusive coverage that only our viewers can participate in that we are kicking off today. We call it .com Derby. All you need to do is go to our website at WHAS11.com, and here's how it works. If you've got a computer at home, you can tell us who you think will win each race today. And then we're going to show you how you stack up to the professional handicappers, and after each race, we will compare your votes to the official race results. So log on right now, go to .com Derby for race number 4. The Fast Forward is coming up.
Oh, that's a new thing for us, and it's really fun. Okay, let's go to Gary Gupton, who's going to run down the odds for the race number 4 of the day. Gary?
Thank you, Doug and Gene. We are here in the winner's circle as we're 8 minutes away from post for 6.5 furlongs on the Fast Forward. Once again, it's for 3-year-olds which have not won a race other than their maiden.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. And we give you this beautiful shot of the track from our first turn location there. The first Kentucky Derby, 10 years after the end of the Civil War, right here at this very spot in South Louisville.
And the Kentucky Oaks Day looks like it's going to be a record breaker. Last year was a record-breaking crowd. It is now the second biggest racing day in America.
And no wonder they invite the Breeders' Cup back so often, because every time it's come to Louisville in November, we break a record crowd. And of course, the Breeders' Cup returning to Churchill Downs. This year, we've got a busy summer, Gene. We've got the PGA 2000 at Valhalla, and then right back here in November for the Breeders' Cup.
Indeed, and I got to tell you, there have been so many changes to the area surrounding Churchill Downs, as well as the Kentucky Derby Museum. The things are just really lovely here. People are enjoying driving along Central Avenue, and you can see them all crowding into a huge crowd out here today. A lot of folks are also dressed for the weather. You can tell that they expected it to be pretty warm, and I think they're going to be comfortable. Look at the infield there. Crowding up. There was a band there, some music folks earlier dancing.
And as people are shedding their clothes pretty fast, too.
Yes, well, it was kind of early for that, actually.
Talk about warm. It's warm on the rooftop. And Jeff Lifson is joining us now as we get closer to the Fast Forward. Jeff?
Hey, thanks very much, Doug and Gene. This is a 3-year-old race, a sprint, Goes 6.5 furlongs on the main track. The track is fast, although closers have done better, or stalkers have done better than folks on the lead.
From WHAS 11 News, celebrating our 50th anniversary and your home for the 126th running of the Kentucky Derby. This is Oaks 126.
And welcome back. If you are just joining us, we are beginning our 4th straight hour of live coverage of Oaks 126 here at Churchill Downs. We'll be here until 7 o'clock tonight with continuous coverage, including all 10 races live.
Yes, in fact, we'll be on the air with you straight until 7 o'clock, and we've had some exciting races so far. In fact, I've noticed some of the people behind us, Gene, they've really, the last 2 races, I think people have won some big money out here. Louisville's day at the track, you know, they closed the schools in Jefferson County. They say the teachers need to take an in-service day, but the track actually says it's great for them because they have more volunteers out here to help man this big crowd, about 105,000 people expected today.
And in the infield, half of those people are probably there. And where in the world is Terry Miners? We think he's in the infield.
He's in the infield, we know. Where else would he be? But we know also that Gary Gupton is keeping an eye on the winning jockeys, and he is live trackside. Gary?
Thank you, Doug and Gene. I'm here with Mike Smith. Mike, we're going to take a look at the stretch run here. This horse hadn't gone in 5 months. Did you think you had enough horse to get home after that layoff?
You know, I was pretty fortunate to work this colt a couple of weeks ago over in Lexington. Thought a whole lot of him. Called Al up and said, boy, I'd really like to ride this colt for you. I think a lot of him. Al says, well, he's been coming off a long layoff. You really like him? I said, man, I tell you, he trained great. He said, well, come work him over here in a week and a half. So I did that, and he worked real good again, and here we are in the winner's circle. It's funny how things work.
Mike, it's been a tough week for you, losing out on Globalize a couple of days ago.
It sure has, you know, but sometimes just things ain't meant to be, and that's just the way I look at it. If it was meant to be, he'd have galloped good and come home good, and everything would have been fine, and would have been all right from the inside post. But as things turned out, fortunate for us, he's not seriously injured. Maybe we can make the next dance.
Mike, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, Mike Smith already picked up a win here on Oaks Day. Can we go ahead and check the numbers here, the payoff for this race for Lac Grande? The first start for this colt in right about 5 months. The payoff, $6, $4.20 and $3.40. The payoff for the second place horse, that was number 5, Chervy, $4.80 and $4, and a really good price for the show horse, Me Chief, pays $9.80. We just finished race number 4, race number 5, about a half hour away as we continue to count down toward the running of the Oaks, number 126. Let's go to Jeff up on the roof with more on the race. Jeff?
Thanks very much, Gupper. You know, last summer at Saratoga, I was lucky enough to be there for TVG, and Lac Grande was certainly a buzz horse at the time after breaking his maiden at Saratoga. He was one of the early favorites, I mean really early favorites, for the Kentucky Derby as a 2-year-old. Well, Lac Grande comes back from his layoff today and runs extremely well. Let's take a quick look at the replay, if we could, just at the end of the stretch there. I should mention that up to this point, there's been really no horses that have started on the lead, that have finished on the lead at the finish line today. It looks like stalkers are having a decent day, and almost in the identical spot where some of the other horses have won today, that's where Lac Grande is. Lac Grande, middle of the track, basically, not on the rail. The rail doesn't look like it's been too terribly favorable to horses today, and particularly not favorable if you had the rail and you had the lead. With that, I will send it back trackside to Gene and Doug.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Coming up, we got a lot more coverage to bring you here. We're going to be checking in with Terry Miners, some of the other personalities around here. Who knows, maybe Miss America will stop by at the first turn a little later on.
We're hoping, at least Steve Thompson, we're hoping is going to come by because he's got
can't miss him. He's
his
so
namesake
tall.
is running in the Kentucky Derby. We'll be right back as we continue our day-long coverage of the second biggest day of racing in America. In just a moment.
Frequent, 1950. On the face.
tornado.
Back here live with our exclusive Oaks Day coverage here at Churchill Downs.
About 5:43 is when you'll see the 126th running of the Kentucky Oaks. And, you know, the weather has been nothing to complain about because the breeze is pretty strong. Your hat is still there.
Yeah, but the jacket's off.
The jacket is off.
It is quite warm and it is quite humid, as Beth predicted, and she's right. Beth is along the track. And gosh, Beth, you are doing fine without your hat. Are you a little bit burned by now?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Gina, it just wasn't the best idea I ever had to come out to the track without a hat. And Damon over here, my friend who's working over here next to me, he didn't have a hat either, but he made shift.
Yes, I did. Styling over here.
That's a makeshift hat for you. And hey, whatever you've got, put it on your head. That's the key.
All right.
You know, I've got sunglasses for my hat. You know, it's not working quite as well. He was quite proud of that, actually. Figured that out all by himself. And I haven't seen anything quite that original here at the track yet. Some programs over people's heads, but that's about the best it's done. We see a high temperature this afternoon. It's going to end up topping out in the low 80s, about 82 degrees with partly sunny skies. There's still just a chance we could see an isolated thunder shower in the area later this afternoon. And that's going to be the same case for Derby too, just because with the heat and humidity, as you know, we do start to see some instability, and that does allow us to pop up a thunder shower or two. But for the most part, we're really looking pretty good. Lots of sunshine, nice warm weather out here. And I'll tell you what, it's just going to be a little bit warmer even tomorrow with a high in the mid 80s for Derby Day. Doug and Jean, you guys keeping cool back there, right?
Walking on the outside of the rail. As we take a look here at the first turn, oh, the lovely lilies. Look at all the people on the side of the rail here to the right. You see all the families and the picnickers. Keep going, keep going. There we go. Look at them, right all against the rail. What a seat to have. Now, tomorrow morning when we're live on the air during our Saturday morning news, Gene, at about 8 a.m., these people will come flying around the corner with benches. I mean, they'll have coolers.
I'm sure they set out stakes very early. Reed Yaden is live in Sky 11. He's got a bird's eye view of the crowds. Reed?
Okay, Gene, Doug, things rolling very, very nicely on Louisville's day, or Kentucky's day, at Churchill Downs. One thing about it, on Oaks Day, they come early. Most of the traffic is already here. One big change from last year. Let me show you as we zoom in with Power Cam. You're looking at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. What's going on here? There's nothing at the stadium today, yet the lot has a lot of traffic in it. That's because, in my opinion, that's the blue ribbon place to park. And the reason why is this year, the overpass over the CSX tracks is open. Not open to traffic yet, but it's open to pedestrians. It's a short walk over the overpass. You're right up to 3rd and Central, 4th and Central, then you can go through the tunnel if you want to, if you're going to the infield, or continue on up that beautiful new walk up Central Avenue where it's redone. It looks almost like being in Lexington at the horse farms, and you're inside Churchill Downs. The best bet, and I think as the years go on, more and more people will park there. You can also park at the fairgrounds and practically walk across in a few minutes. So as far as handling traffic at a major event, Louisville, it takes second seat to no other city in the country. We got about as good as it gets here. Continuing to look at the infield crowd, I'll tell you what, I think they're going to get their record here today. That infield is packed on this beautiful, sunny, scorching afternoon. The only thing we have to do is keep any thunder showers away, and it's going to be just about perfect. People trying to find any little bit of shade they can find out there and saying, oh my gosh, I forgot the suntan block, the sunscreen. They're going to be hurting about 6 o'clock tonight. Reed Yaden in Sky 11 for Oaks 126.
You know, there are a lot of people out here wearing coats and ties, but Gene, I think most people are dressing very smartly. I see more short sleeves than I usually do here at the track. People always like to sort of try to dress up, but not today.
Our Chuck Olmstead is in the paddock. He's people watching, and he's also run into a couple of celebrities there a minute ago. He talked with Jim McKay. Look at that hat. That's a lovely hat. We have been seeing some really lovely hats, Doug. You're right. And noticing that the pastels are in this year. That's a nice, pretty yellow hat. Well,
it's nice because you can actually see her face. It's not so dark that it's shading her face to the point. Hey, how you doing?
And Doug is going to start his second career as a fashion police in a moment. We'll be back with the sights and sounds of Oaks Day 2000 with you as we continue our exclusive day-long live coverage. Stay with us.
WHAS 11 News Night Team.
We're back live here with our day-long coverage, and Chuck Homestead's in the Paddock, running into all kinds of celebrities, Hall of Famers, athletes, the whole 9 yards.
That's right. He's with a former well-known jockey in this industry, now hanging up her spurs. Chuck?
How you doing? Indeed, I'm in the paddock with one of the best-known riders, indeed, the leading female rider nationwide. Just retired about a year ago, but you know, Julie Crone, you can still ride.
Thank you very much.
You get a little nostalgic this year. You don't have to do that type of work.
Yes, this year it was interesting driving in here. I'm like a regular person, taking the TARC bus, driving along, like looking at the scenery, all the houses and stuff. I go, this is pretty cool. Had my little program ready, and I saw the signs that said no parking Derby Day or Friday. And I remember when I was 15 years old, my mom was here, and I reached up and I pulled one down and I took it with me and I put it on my wall in my bedroom at home. And it was like one of those things that I always kept with me. And yeah, I did get a little nostalgic coming in, that's for sure.
What about women riders in the future? When I talked to PJ Cooksey, she was saying, gosh, I think there should be more professional women in this field. What's your read on that?
Well, Donna Barton and I have like in process right now a little girl jockey called Chris Prather, and we're trying to replenish the herd. All of us kind of retired, stepped back a little bit, and definitely there seem to be influxes in stages or whatever, and right now it's a little bit light, but I have faith it'll pick up soon.
Okay, here we go. I know you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, so I won't ask you pick the one horse for this year's Kentucky Derby. Name 3 that you think will be in the hunt.
Okay, there's one long shot that I like, which is China Visit, and there's a horse that my heart's going to be with because of the Femme connections with Janine Sahadi and the deputy. Plus, he's coming out of the Santa Anita Derby strong way and pinpointing for this race. And the star talent, who's the obvious, and if he's beaten, it'll be a beaten favorite, is Fusaichi Pegasus. He has all the style, the class, and everything else that goes along with it.
Just got a name hard to pronounce, huh?
No, it's easy. Well. Fusaichi Pegasus.
So that's the way it's shaping up for you.
Yes.
Now tell me about what your life's going to be like after this Kentucky Derby.
Well, I go to Louisiana, then I go to the Preakness, and I am so busy. I'm glad I retired. I would have never had time to do all this stuff.
I'd love to retire with you because it seems like a lot of fun, but more importantly, always a pleasure having a chance to meet a legend.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Julie Crone, one of the all-time great riders here today, and this is Chuck Homestead live in the paddock. Back to you.
All right, Chuck, thank you very much. You know, we've been focusing a lot on what's been happening inside the track because it sort of corrals that 100,000 people right here.
Yeah, but there's so much going on outside the track because there's been so many changes. Central Avenue looks like a completely different place. It doesn't even look like the same city. There's the part that's going into Cardinal John Stadium, and then there are still the hot dog stands, the balloon vendors, and all those things. And our Eric Zager is outside the downs, outside the track, with a look at some of the folks out there.
All right, we're outside gate 10 with Chuck Huber all the way from Atlanta. Chuck, what are you doing out here? You should be in your seat with a drink.
Yeah, we're just trying to move up and get some better tickets for today, move up into the clubhouse.
You're trying to move up in the clubhouse. You don't like the seats you have?
Well, too hot out there today.
Too hot?
That's right, yeah.
This is Oaks Day, Chuck.
Yeah, I know, but you stay outside in the sun and you get perspiring.
All right, so how much are you willing to pay for those tickets?
Face value only.
Face value?
Right.
$200?
No.
No? How much you willing to pay?
Well, they're usually $60 face value for third floor clubhouse.
All right, Chuck, between you and me, I've got 2 tickets, but I need $150.
No way.
Come on, you sure?
Yep, absolutely.
Chuck, why would you bother even coming out here? You know, chances are nobody's going to sell you those tickets face value.
Every year we get tickets at face value.
Are you putting me on?
No, I wouldn't do that.
So you've been out here for an hour now.
Right.
How much longer you plan on standing out here trying to find those tickets?
Probably about 5 to 10 minutes.
And then what?
Then we're going in.
All right, you got the suntan lotion going, Chuck?
Yep, got it going.
All right. What's the best part about Oaks, no matter where you sit?
The best part about Oaks is just going to the track and watching the horses and making your bets.
All right, how much you plan on winning today?
Whatever I can, I guess, 500. I'll settle for 500.
All right, Chuck, we're going to be hooking up later then for dinner. From outside gate 10, Eric Zager for Oaks 126.
All right, Eric, thanks so much. And we want to remind you that we have day-long coverage. We're going to have an expanded newscast tonight at 6 o'clock. Our 6 o'clock will go from 6 until 7. And then a special program, a new special that's going to air after that at 7 o'clock from 7 to 8. It's called Road to the Roses. Kirby Adams and Barry Burnson are going to be doing that. So we want to tell you that, look, Miss America is on her way up to our platform.
Well, there she is.
Along with the Lieutenant Governor Steve Henry.
And we'll interview her.
We're going to talk with her and tell you in the infield while we're waiting for her to get up here and get all mic'd. We want to keep her because I know she's busy. We want to stay with her until we get her here in our chair, ready to go. Hello. There she is.
How you doing, Heather? Good to see you. I know this character right next to you.
Heather Renee French, Miss America. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Is this your first Kentucky Derby? You've done
Oh,
this
no,
before.
it's not my first Kentucky Derby. No.
Boy, I tell you what, you have had quite a week.
I have, and you know what's great is that today I got to present a trophy to the Dollars for Scholars race. That's the first time I presented a trophy here at the Oaks, and I'm so excited because that means this is the first initial launch of Dollars for Scholars Scholarship Program in the state of Kentucky. And Steve and I have been very active on making education, number one in Kentucky and trying to get our kids, a post-secondary education.
Sure. Now, are you going to be presenting the Oaks Day trophy as well?
Well, I don't know. That's Stephen's choice.
I think probably I'll let
the
her
two of you,
help
you're going to flip a coin and see who actually goes up there?
Well, I get an assistant.
I think he gets to take
I think I've already
What'd you think about the Pegasus Parade yesterday? You were in that
I thought
along
it
with
was
Tori Burton.
wonderful, and I was so proud to share the spotlight with Tori. She is a phenomenal woman, and she said, it's interesting, between she and I, every bit of femininity is covered between the two extremes, I think.
Plus the What's Up guys were there.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I got to tell you, you are one Miss America that's going to really go down in the history books. You have set many precedents. You have the longest reign, the Miss America, the first one with short
hair. That's right.
The first Miss America of the new millennium.
2000.
So my goodness, has it sunk in yet?
Well, every time I come home, it sinks in a little more because Kentucky just does a phenomenal job of keeping up with me and what I'm doing. And it's just, they always welcome me home so well. And, and having Stephen here too, it's just, everything all together just makes it phenomenal.
You have to understand, we're sorry for monopolizing you because we see him all the time. It's just so
that's
special
all
for you.
right. That's all right.
It's a day for the ladies, day for the fillies. You got to tell us your Oaks Day pick.
I'm not quite sure yet. We've been going around, people have been giving us different bids and saying, hey, this is how you pick a horse. I'm not sure yet because the last two picks I've had have come in like last. So I've got to reevaluate.
So you must be coaching.
We haven't had a chance yet. Captain Steve, we decided on that
for
one.
Derby.
That's kind
for
of our
Derby.
local favorite, and we like the name for some reason.
But for Oaks, we're still trying to decide. Neither one of us have been very good about picking yet. So
we're going to sit down in a few minutes and take it and read the options and. What about you guys? Give us a choice here.
Well, okay.
Well, I think you can't ignore Captain Steve, like you said.
Well,
the local
Derby,
favorites.
for today,
the local favorites. More Than Ready is what the New York Times picked, and they've got me my last two winners of the last 2 years. Believe it or not, those guys must be veteran writers.
Well, I tell you what, we may take your opinion on that one then.
And we'll get to see if Doug is really right this time. Thanks so much for coming by to talk to us. Thank you.
My pleasure. And,
all right.
And we'll see if you're right.
Yeah, you got it. I can blame someone else though. It's not my pick.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Thanks
so much.
Sean.
Okay.
We'll be back in just a moment. Our coverage here on The First Turn continues.
Sky 11, coverage you can count on. Only on Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11. Exclusive live Derby 126 coverage just 1 day away.
Walking down the street, pretty woman, the kind I like to meet, pretty woman. I don't believe you, you're not the truth. No one could look as good as you. Mercy. Yeah, she's walking back to me. Oh,
From WHAS 11 News, celebrating our 50th anniversary and your home for the 126th running of the Kentucky Derby, this is Oaks 126.
And welcome back to Churchill Downs, WHAS 11's exclusive live coverage of the 126th running of the Kentucky Oaks. We've just witnessed the Louisville Breeders' Cup, Grade 2, a fine race for mares and fillies, 3-year-olds and upwards. That race just completed, and the winner was Heritage of Gold, Shane Sellers in the saddle. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Rodemeyer along with Melissa Swan. We're in the shadow of the Twin Spires once again, and you look lovely in, is that salmon?
Salmon. I call it salmon, yes. And it kind of goes with the lilies
it goes with the
today.
lilies, it does.
The lilies that will go with the fillies later on today. We are going to see that major race. But you know, a lot of people have been saying the race we just saw was the big race of the day. A lot of horse people were looking forward to that because we had 2 former Oaks winners in that. And a lot of people were saying before I got to the track and around the track of the paddock, watch Heritage of Gold. That's the horse that can really beat Silver Bullet Day, and by golly, that is what happened.
Indeed, and there were just a number of really good fillies and mares in this race, including Rosa Robata, the horse that finished second, Silver Bullet Day, and Keeper Hill, which was the winner of the Spinster last fall over at Keeneland. So some fine fillies that ran in this past race. And let's go up to Jeff Lifson for a recap of the race that we have just seen, which was the Louisville Breeders' Cup, a Grade 2 event. Jeff?
Hey, Jeff.
Hey guys, thanks Gary and Melissa. You know, last year about this time, Jack Gary gave a call to Tom Amos, a trainer, and said, would you like to have Heritage of Gold? Well, Tom Amos is very happy that he said, yes, no problem. Took her up to Saratoga and also to the East Coast. She ran on the turf, she ran on the dirt. She's a stakes winner in both ways, and now she's a Breeders' Cup placed horse and also the Louisville Breeders' Cup winner this year. Let's take a look at the replay. She went on the far turn, and she was placed right at the same spot that Silver Bullet Day was placed. However, when she went, Silver Bullet Day did not go with her. Heritage of Gold actually came off this pace that was set by Bella Chiara. Bella Chiara, Chris McCarron looking back, nursed this thing around in pretty slow fractions, pretty tepid fractions for the first half mile. Nevertheless, Heritage of Gold had to maybe make her move a bit early, but made a winning move, with Shane Sellers getting another win on the card today. And with that, we'll send it down to the winner's circle with Gary Gupton.
Shane, boy, what a day already. Not only do you win a big race, but what an incredible field you beat there.
Yeah, this is a nice filly, a nice mare. She was coming off of some good races last year, and I think she really come into herself last year. And her last race of the year was in the Breeders' Cup and run a good third. And we was hoping that she'd come back and do what she's done this year. And she's won 3 in a row and hooked what we thought was the best and just proved what she was all about today.
Well, you've ridden her a lot, 4 wins on her already so far.
Yeah, you know, and she's been good to me, you know, and she's not a very hard mare to ride. She places herself right, and you know, when you press the button and she's ready to go, she'll take it to him, and if she's good enough, she'll win, and that's what she's been doing for me.
Shane's hit the buttons right 3 times today. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you, Gary.
Congratulations, Shane Sellers with another win on Oaks Day. Let's go back to you guys.
And tomorrow we're going to see Shane Sellers on Graham Hall in the 126th running of the Kentucky Derby. This Oaks Day has really been good for the people enjoying the weather. I think, Gary, that this is going to be the Oaks of the sleeveless cotton dresses, the little sun dresses, and even a few bikinis in the infield.
I think there were a lot of fashion changes before people left the house because
last minute.
As we were riding to the racetrack this morning, it was already edging up toward 80 degrees, and there's been a little bit of cloud cover, and thankfully, every time those clouds have come over, people have kind of breathed a sigh of relief because it brings a little bit of relief from the really, really warm temperatures, and we're expecting even warmer temperatures for tomorrow. So if you're sitting at home, you're going to come to the Kentucky Derby tomorrow, you may want to think, dress comfortably, because it looks like temperatures are going to be in the mid-80s and very humid.
And sunscreen as well. I've got 45 on my hands, and I have learned from the Derbies past when it was hot. It's been a while, but when it was hot, you can get a sunburn through pantyhose. I know from experience, so let's put it all over.
Let's go to Gary Gupton for the prices from the Louisville Breeders' Cup running, and they just won, in fact, by Heritage of Gold. Gary, how did the payoffs go?
Well, very well. You know, it was a race in which Silver Bullet Day was, I'm not sure what she went off with. I'm thinking a prohibitive favorite. She had never been beaten on this track until Heritage of Gold sneaks up and takes it. The payoff, 640, 380, and 320. And then the second place went to number 3, Rosie Robata, 660 and 380. And the filly that broke from the inside, Bella Chiara, paid $420. An incredible day already for Shane Sellers. He's picked up 3 wins. As you know, he's going to be heading to the post tomorrow with Graham Hall, the winner of the Arkansas Derby. Let me just peek over my shoulder and see if Tom Amos is still available. He is not, so we'll throw it back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Gary. Last night at 11 o'clock news, Ken Schultz was saying the big odds today were on a chance of rain and not a very good chance, and so far it's been holding true.
You know, in fact, we have a lot of blue skies over the downs right now, and we have a breeze, thank goodness. As much as we hate it in these big hats, we are loving that breeze today.
Do you have that one thumbtacked on today?
No, actually, I have this foam rubber in the middle of it. It's very tight. Ken, how about the breeze? How about the weather? What's it look for the rest of the day and tomorrow?
Well, I'll tell you, the breeze basically thanks to me, because anytime I get talking, well, it's been associated with being rather breezy. But nonetheless, yes, that is helping us considerably. But what I want to do right now is take a look at our Storm Team Doppler radar and check out the situation, because as you mentioned, Gary, we did talk about some isolated thunder shower possibilities. As you mentioned, Melissa, sunscreen, hat, take it easy, please. So back to you, Melissa, Gary.
No kidding, and I'm telling you, we cannot stress that enough. Already just walking over here to our perch on the first turn, I saw a lot of people hiding under those overhangs, anywhere in the shade, and they looked bright red, so keep that in mind.
Those hats are very usable items today, aren't you? Keep the sun off your face.
Well, they keep the heat in, but they do keep the sun off your face. That is true.
Well, we're going to be back with more of Oaks 126 in just a moment. We're going to cover all the races for you the rest of the afternoon. Then our 6 o'clock news comes along as usual at 6, and a special 1 hour long elongated version of the 6 o'clock news tonight, and then Peter Jennings at 7 o'clock. So we'll be back after just a moment.
Stay tuned.
WHAS 11 News with the most awards for excellence in broadcast journalism by the Associated Press. 13 awards, more than all other local television stations combined. Award-winning coverage you can count on. That's WHAS 11 News.
Our exclusive live coverage of Oaks 126. Of course, Derby comes tomorrow, and then on Sunday,
we rest.
No, actually, I'm going to the Cincinnati Cardinals baseball game on Sunday.
You've got more energy than I've got.
It's my birthday, and the Cardinals and the Reds are playing up in Riverfront, and by golly, I'm going.
That's right.
That's just part of the weekend.
That's right.
Let's go.
You'll rest.
You know, I love
day.
baseball.
I know that you do. I know that you do. And our Chuck Olmstead is over in the paddock. He's already been with Bo Derek, and now he's with a baseball great. Chuck?
It may be May, but every time I see this guy, I think of Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, one of baseball's all-time great hitters. How you enjoying yourself?
I'll let you know after this race.
You're invited in by Bob Baffert, and have you got your picked up your own vibes about this coming Derby?
It's a way to start at the top, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
He's a Yankee fan, and he asked me, told me if I wanted to come down. He said, give him a call. I was down at the Compact PGA Open there in New Orleans, and with Compact people, and it was close by. I'm on my way to New York tomorrow for the honoring of Bob Shepard, putting a plaque out in Monument Park. So it was on my way. I knew I was going to have a nice first-class seat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so what the heck.
Well, what are you picking up? The atmosphere. Give me your read on Churchill Downs, Kentucky.
Well, you know, it's all that what they say it is.